Ravi Gupta, the dignitaries present here on the dais, esteemed participants, sponsors, technology and other partners, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to be here to give this speech on the occasion of this higher educational event. I take this opportunity first to appreciate ELET's Digital Learning, Mr. Gupta, and the sponsors in organizing such an event. The emphasis on education, particularly higher education, is on the rise in the last few years, and in India in the last few years several such events have been organized at the behest of various agencies including the government, and there have been digital learning. ELETS has been pioneering a lot of activities in the field of higher learning, higher education in the last few years, and I think we all need to commend their efforts. Today, let me focus on the quality of higher education through providing a few slides, view of a few slides here. I know there is a shortage of time, therefore I will be trying to be brief, just reading out the slides, and in case any discussion is there required, later on we could do. Maybe a couple of my slides could make most of you a little upset or provoked. I can see a few from abroad, possibly they are from USA, and there is a chance that they will be unhappy with me. Oh, okay, so saved. All of us are in education for some purpose. In any activity, business in particular, profits could be one motive. There is no other justification required if it's for profits. If it's for non-profits, the return is social happiness of social service. But I think to do something very, very noble for the country in the field of higher education, we need to go beyond this. That is the happiness in profits or happiness in social service, and we need to pitch on at a higher level on patriotism itself. The country had a very good past, commencing from 2000 years ago with our great Nalanda University, and we have a good future with a lot of demographic dividend and IT and intellect. Therefore, we need to move our higher education in tune with where the country is headed in future, for which we need to contribute heavily without consideration of our own benefits. Of course, we will have the benefits of social service or profits. Look at this. We know today USA is the most influential country in the world. Some people will say it's because of economics. Some may say it's because of the weapons and the defense products they make. But I would say the most influential factor or influencing factor is the education. In fact, everybody in the world thinks for USA because everybody is influenced. If today in management education we need to teach some concept, we need Harvard case. In technology, we need a US paper. And most of the inventions, discoveries are in the names of the US scientists and companies. There is a widespread influence of the USA intellectually on the world. So we are very happy to think like a US policymaker or a US citizen. So much is the influence on all of us. And I believe the best way for India to lead the world is using the same intellect and knowledge. So if we can produce that kind of a knowledge and disseminate in the world over a period of time, over the couple of decades to come, and I am sure in another 20-30 years, India is going to be in the position in which USA is, without the violence of US weapons, without the muscle power that USA shows on the world. So that should be one of our great dreams. When we talk about quality image of education, there are two aspects coming. That is the skills of learners. Mainly the quality image is judged in terms of the skills of the learners in the job or outside. And the second is the perception of the users. Actually the skills of the learners would be coming in their work. But their work, whether it is good or bad, is judged by those who are evaluating them. Therefore, without the perception of users, we cannot evaluate the quality of education. Both sides are required. But today education is, particularly higher education, is influenced by various factors. Number one, market forces. Number two, the technological forces. Number three, the aspirational forces. So much is happening in the world, so much wealth is created, everybody wants to have a share of it. So that is one aspiration. Second is to be part of the growth story everywhere. And market forces, as you are aware, are playing a role, and technological factors. This is where I will make the technology people sitting here a little unhappy. Most often we will ask, where is the change happening? Where is the change originating? And you will find it is the technology companies which are the source of change in higher education as well as in the educational field in other categories. Often there is a bandwagon effect. Somebody wants to be a little higher than the others. For instance, there is a lot of competition among educational institutions. So each institution wants to have an upper hand over the other in the competition so that they get a better accreditation and so on. So they want to adopt a new technology or a new product, and then everybody wants to adopt. Then the company comes back and says that, you see, I have another version which is a more refined version. So why don't you accept? So somebody accepts, everybody accepts. Like that it goes on. In the last few years, if you look at it, many of the transformation changes have happened because of the technology companies rather than because of real philosophers and thinkers in higher education. Of course, aspirations were there, that is one aspect. Competition was there. And you will find the quality sources we need to cover a lot of components. Number one, faculty, which is a factor discussed very much. The materials, so long as Harvard is there, management schools are happy. But beyond that, we have very little of our own materials with quality. Methods, what teaching methods are used, there may be a debate on that. The learning environment is very important. People say in IIT, IIMs and some of the other major institutions, including private, there is a better learning environment. And also the student competence. Of course, IITs and IIMs and some of the major institutions are lucky to get the top quality students, but not every institution is lucky. So it is extremely difficult for those institutions which are not getting high talent students to produce high talent employees. So there is a problem there. And many top students get into IITs, IIMs, pass out, go ahead and succeed. But many who don't get into IITs, IIMs, go abroad, study, come back and succeed. So success, IIT, IIM, not the only way. But the difference is that when they go to USA and UK, you can be happy now, they get a high quality education. And they are able to compete in spite of probably their slightly lower intellect than those who get into IITs and IIMs. So, but there is a problem. How to give quality? Even for IIMs and IITs, this is a problem. There is a faculty crunch. And there is a dollar barrier to faculty inflow. For instance, there are so many Indians abroad who may like to come back, at least in their older age, so that they can have a settled life here with comfort. But the problem is that every time they want to come back, they convert dollars into rupees or rupees into dollars back. When they convert their dollars into Indian rupees, it's a huge amount. But when they convert Indian salaries back into their dollars, they find there is a small number. And this is one of the things that is preventing many Indians from coming back because they think that it is too small. But the fact is that when we compare Indian and American salaries, we need to straight away apply a 3.5 to 4 factor, which is the PPP factor. Straight away American salaries can be divided by 3.5 to get the Indian equivalent, but many people don't think about it, or conveniently they ignore that point. That is why many Indians are not coming back. We are also trying to get people back. So supporting factors of quality are skill orientation, industry linkage, performance focus, and academic discipline. I am sure each and every organization, educational institution is really spending a lot of time in figuring out how to deal with this, including discipline. Today, discipline is one of the factors that is affecting the quality of education in many of the institutions, particularly universities and places where there is a little bit of looseness in the system. And the other factor is cost. The Indians are very cost conscious. Those who are not cost conscious will be going abroad to get their education. Except in IIMs and some top major institutions, other places they are very cost conscious. That is why many of them join the Indian government public institutions. But with such a cost, whether the institutions would be able to provide quality education or not is one of the most important factors. Many universities, this kind of debate is happening whether they should increase the fee or not. But the traditional wisdom is that they should not, because they are public organizations. But with that kind of a fee, they are not able to find the resources for supporting R&D activity and also their own internal knowledge creation. I think I should conclude within 1 or 2 minutes, but let me show you this slide. That is, commercialization is nicknamed not for profit in the recent years, and new products and greater non-profits are being generated there, and a strong educational industry is developing in India. New products and greater profits in the name of non-profits. Technology players, as I told, is doing the same thing. They are selling their products and then coming back and saying that this is a new product. I think I should, because a few more slides are there, but I am sure we can discuss it later also. I am also part of the coming session. I conclude this to enable the organizers to conclude the inaugural session. I am happy to discuss with you any of the points. If I have put some controversial point, that can also be discussed why I felt so. I once again thank the organizers for organizing this event and giving me an opportunity to express my views. Thanks a lot.